Welcome to Voyage Daily Tech, the most important news personalized for you every day, supported by Voyage.com.
After listening to today's news, you'll know first, Credo's purple cables fuel XAI's supercomputer. Its stock soars 245% in a classic AI picks and shovels play. Today, we'll take a closer look at this dynamic and its implications for the AI supply chain and Wall Street investors. Second, ISS advises against Elon Musk's near $1 trillion Tesla pay package, citing astronomical size and governance risks. We'll analyse why this recommendation is a turning point and how it could affect corporate governance and shareholder power in Silicon Valley. Third, Lamborghini pivots from EVs, betting on a 2035 EU regulatory loophole to keep its roaring combustion engines alive. This discussion will reveal how this strategy connects to a larger trend in the luxury auto market and what it means for the future of EV adoption. Fourth, AI tackles doctor burnout from a 2-to-1 paperwork ratio, but a massive training gap creates a new healthcare divide. We'll explore how this tech adoption could transform clinical workflows, but also widen the gap between well-funded and under-resourced hospitals. Fifth, Kremlin proposes an $8 billion Russia-Alaska tunnel built by Elon Musk, raising major US national security alarms. In this episode, we'll break down this geopolitical proposal and what it signals for the new era of private CEOs as powerful non-state actors. The story begins with a decision that caught everyone by surprise. Elon Musk posts a picture from inside a new XAI supercomputer, but he doesn't focus on the pricey NVIDIA chips. He focuses on thousands of neatly organized purple cables. Now, get this, those cables are the nervous system of the supercomputer. It's not just about connecting the chips, it's about how fast and reliably you can move colossal amounts of data between them. Without a super efficient nervous system, even the most powerful AI brain is useless. Those cables belong to a little-known company called Credo, and that picture is part of why its market value has exploded from $1.4 billion to nearly $25 billion. Wall Street is scrambling. Credo's stock has soared 245% in 2024. Its revenue more than doubled to over $436 million. And the company just turned profitable, swinging from a $28 million loss to a $52 million profit. This is where the situation takes a more complex turn. Analysts now expect its sales to double again to almost $1 billion. This is what Wall Street calls a picks and shovels play. During the gold rush, the people who got richest weren't always the miners, but the ones selling the picks and shovels. In the AI gold rush, companies like Credo are selling the essential tools, and the demand is off the charts. We're talking about giants like Amazon, Microsoft, and Alphabet planning to pour hundreds of billions of dollars into AI infrastructure. So what's the secret? Credo holds a staggering 88% market share for these purple active electrical cables. So the thing is, an active electrical cable, or AEC, isn't just a dumb wire. It has a tiny, sophisticated chip inside a digital signal processor, or DSP. Credo's secret sauce is that their DSPs are incredibly good at cleaning up the signal, which lets them use copper cables more efficiently and reliably than anyone else. They are the vital connections inside the AI clusters being built by giants like XAI, Amazon, and Microsoft. While many use fiber optics, Credo's CEO Bill Brennan claims his copper cables are more reliable, preventing failures that he says can literally shut down an entire data center, wasting hours of priceless GPU time. And this is the heart of the debate between copper and fiber optics. For short distances, like inside a single server rack, Credo's copper AECs are cheaper and easier to install. But the real kicker is the reliability. Research shows Credo's design can be over 100 times more reliable than some laser-based fiber optics. When a single link failure can halt a multi-million-dollar AI training job, that reliability is everything. However, it's a trade-off. Over longer distances, fiber optics still win on speed and use less power, which is a huge deal when you think about the massive energy footprint of these data centers. One server used to need one cable. Now, a single AI system can require 9, and next year's will need twice as many. So what does this all point to for the future? JP Morgan predicts the market for these specific cables will hit $4 billion by 2028, with Credo's revenue growing at least 50% annually. The demand is so extreme, Brennan calls it insatiable, stating that if his team could deliver the next generation of tech right now, it would be consumed instantly. As big tech races to spend a projected $1 trillion on AI data centers by 2030, a 17-year-old company and its signature purple cable have gone from a niche player to a dominant, indispensable force fueling the entire AI revolution. However, this incredible success story also comes with an inherent risk. Credo's success is tied to the spending of just a handful of giant tech companies. It's a classic case of extreme customer concentration. We saw this during the dot-com bubble with companies that supplied the early internet boom. When the big buyers pulled back, those suppliers faced a massive collapse. While today's AI spending is built on real profits, not just speculation, Credo's incredible rise also shows how dependent the entire ecosystem is on the continued massive investment of just a few key players. We were just talking about the picks and shovels of the AI gold rush. And speaking of the key figures in that rush, Elon Musk is now at the center of a different kind of drama over at Tesla. A plan is on the table to grant him nearly $1 trillion more in Tesla stock. But a top shareholder advisor, Institutional Shareholder Services, or ISS, just dropped a bombshell recommendation: vote against it. ISS called the Mega Performance Equity Award astronomical, citing unmitigated concerns surrounding its sheer magnitude. What's unusual here is that Musk's proposed package is entirely performance-based. There is no guaranteed salary, no cash bonuses. It's an all-or-nothing design. When we place Musk's plan alongside a more traditional one, like Tim Cook's at Apple, the contrast is stark. Apple gave Cook a stock grant worth around $376 million that vested over many years to ensure his long-term commitment. Musk's plan is far more aggressive, requiring Tesla's value to grow in massive $50 billion chunks for him to get anything at all. This pay plan, if approved, would be the largest ever awarded to a public company CEO. It could net Musk an additional 12% stake in Tesla, but only if the company achieves a staggering $8.5 trillion market cap, among other goals. Tesla fired back immediately. In a post on X, the automaker accused ISS of missing fundamental points of investing in governance and complained that the advisors had previously recommended against compensation that shareholders have already approved twice before. Interestingly enough, a company like ISS holds immense, often unseen power. They, along with their main competitor, Glass Lewis, are a duopoly that advises on something like 90% of all invested assets. Big passive funds like Vanguard or BlackRock often don't have the resources to do deep dive analysis on every single vote, so they rely heavily on these recommendations. Research shows that when ISS recommends voting against a director, their clients are 20 percentage points more likely to do so. This is why their no vote is such a big deal. But that's not the whole picture. The real turning point is a recent court decision. This drama follows a Delaware court striking down Musk's previous pay plan from 2018, a package worth an estimated $56 billion. The court ruled that it had been improperly granted that Tesla hid crucial details from shareholders and that Musk had controlled the board. The fallout from that Delaware court ruling led Musk to initiate moving Tesla's state of incorporation from Delaware to Texas. You know, Delaware has a century of court history that often favors shareholder rights, whereas Texas has a new business court system that is seen as more management friendly, which could make it harder for shareholders to challenge the board in the future. On top of that, ISS is also recommending shareholders vote against giving Tesla's board authorization to invest in XAI, the AI company Musk started. They are also advising a vote against re-electing a longtime board member and close friend of Musk. To give you a concrete example of what they're worried about, public filings show that in 2024, Musk's AI company, XAI, bought nearly $200 million worth of Tesla's Megapack energy products. When one person leads two companies that are doing major deals with each other, it raises serious questions about conflicts of interest, and that's exactly what ISS is flagging. It sets up a massive power struggle ahead of the shareholder vote, and believe it or not, there's a final twist. Elon Musk will be able to vote his own shares. His current holdings of at least 13.5% of Tesla's voting power could, on their own, be enough to secure approval for the nearly $1 trillion package. While Tesla navigates a high-stakes shareholder battle over its future, another iconic automaker is making a bold move by questioning the all-electric future entirely. Lamborghini's CEO just went on the record stating that enthusiasm for electric cars is going down, and because of that, the brand is hitting the brakes on its all-electric plans. Now, the data presents a fascinating duality. On one side, if we look at a key competitor like Porsche, their all-electric Taycan saw a sales drop. On the other, Sales for their classic gasoline-powered 911 actually went up. This suggests that in the ultra-high-end market, it's not that buyers are rejecting EVs outright, but that the classic roaring combustion engine still holds a powerful, almost magnetic appeal for a certain customer, while its arch rival Ferrari is pushing ahead with plans for its first all-electric car. Lamborghini is making a massive pivot. If that was just the appetizer, the main course is how Ferrari is approaching this. Instead of faking engine sounds, they're developing a system that captures the real, authentic vibrations from its electric motors. Think of it like an electric guitar pickup. A sensor on the axle detects the frequencies of the powertrain, which are then processed and amplified to create a sound that is genuinely tied to the car's performance. It's a bold attempt to create a new kind of emotional connection, one that Lamborghini clearly believes will fail. The company's chief executive, Stefan Winkelmann, says he sees a huge opportunity to stay with internal combustion engines and a battery system much longer than expected. For Lamborghini, a hybrid isn't just a temporary step. They see it as a destination, and it's all about performance. A high-performance hybrid can deliver instant electric torque to fill in the gaps, while a massive V12 engine screams to its red line. This blend offers a level of power delivery and thermal management that pure EVs, with their heavy batteries, still struggle to match. This move also cleverly sidesteps the massive geopolitical risks in the battery supply chain, which is heavily dominated by China. Ferrari, by contrast, has been working for years with South Korean battery maker SK On and even started its own battery research lab in Italy to secure its own supply. According to him, Lamborghini customers don't want a silent supercar. They want the sound and the emotion of an internal combustion engine. This isn't just talk. The company's long-planned all-electric model, the Lanzador, is now back under review and could be released as a hybrid instead. Another all-electric model, which was set for 2029, is now shelved until at least 2035. And that 2035 date, that's not a random number. It's a strategic calculation. You see, both the EU and the UK have regulations that include exemptions for so-called low-volume manufacturers. But here's where the strategy gets even bolder. When asked about emissions, the CEO was incredibly direct, stating that Lamborghini sells 10,000 cars in a world that produces 80 million a year, so its impact is not that important. He added that while the company is socially responsible, its actions don't really make a lot of difference. This sets up a high-stakes showdown in the luxury market. As new rules are set to ban the sale of new petrol cars in the EU and UK by 2035, Lamborghini seems to be betting on a different path. The company's entire strategy is now built on the belief that the roar of a gasoline engine will remain the ultimate symbol of luxury and power. This isn't just a loophole, it's a core part of their business strategy. In the EU, for instance, car makers producing fewer than 1,000 vehicles per year are completely exempt from the 2035 ban. In the UK, similar rules protect brands like Aston Martin, McLaren, and yes, Lamborghini. It creates a two-tiered system where mass market brands are forced to spend billions on electrification, while a handful of elite supercar makers can legally continue to sell the very cars that made them famous. It's a calculated gamble that their customers will pay a premium for the last roaring engines on Earth. From high-tech supercars to the high-stakes world of healthcare, technology is reshaping industries in unexpected ways. But as our next story shows, sometimes the biggest challenge isn't the tech itself, but how we use it. Let's start with a single statistic that might just change your entire perspective on this. For every single hour your doctor spends on direct patient care, they are spending 2 hours on digital paperwork. So what's driving this? The problem exploded with the widespread adoption of electronic health records, or EHRs. While they were meant to digitize and streamline patient information, they also created a massive new burden of data entry, clicking through endless menus and forms. This is the digital era busy work that is burning out our medical professionals. That soul-crushing ratio is what insiders are calling the number one driver of burnout and career dissatisfaction in the entire healthcare industry. But now, a wave of artificial intelligence is being deployed to fight back. A while back, we analysed how AI can audit health systems, spotting patterns that official reporting can miss for years, and the latest development is that same capability is pointed at the workflow itself. Tech stalwarts and a new generation of startups are pouring resources into a single mission, giving physicians back their time. Companies like Abridge are deploying generative AI that transcribes patient-doctor conversations in real time, automatically adding context from previous visits and tests. The idea is not to use AI to self-diagnose diseases, but to diagnose the administrative bottlenecks that pull clinicians away from the bedside. Now, the business model behind this is also worth noting. These companies typically charge a subscription fee to the hospital or clinic, but the incredibly sensitive data from those private conversations is also used after being de-identified to protect privacy, to train and improve the AI models. It's a powerful feedback loop. While it's all done under strict HIPAA compliance, it highlights how valuable our medical conversations have become in the age of AI. This same loop could help audit care pathways and documentation norms, not just clinical signals. The goal is to finally break the chains of administrative work that one founder said created a world where technology was taking doctors away from their patients. And as we noted a while back, sometimes it takes a machine to point to a difficult truth the system itself hasn't been seeing. The money is following the problem. Between 2019 and 2024, over 60% of all venture funding in healthcare AI was focused specifically on these administrative and clinical tools. However, if you zoom out, you'll see a massive disconnect hiding in plain sight. A recent report shows that 57% of physicians are already using AI tools, but when asked if they feel prepared to leverage the technology, that number plummets. Only 28% of physicians say they feel ready. A few days ago, we mentioned how experts caution against using AI without proper guidance. In the clinic, the parallel is clear. Handing powerful tools to clinicians without training invites the same risks, just in a different setting. This has created a crisis of what experts call workforce readiness, which also risks creating a new AI training divide. Large, well-funded urban hospitals can afford to buy these advanced AI tools and properly train their staff, but smaller, rural and under-resourced clinics are being left behind. This could actually worsen healthcare inequality, creating a two-tiered system where the quality of your care depends on your hospital's access to the latest technology. To close this gap, major education companies like Adalem are now partnering with Google Cloud to launch new AI credential programs specifically for healthcare roles. The ultimate endgame isn't to replace the human element of medicine. It's to use machines to free up clinicians to do more of what they joined the profession for in the first place, being at the bedside, caring for patients. This brings up a critical question though. What are the long-term risks? Some experts are concerned about the de-skilling of medicine. If doctors become too reliant on AI to summarize visits and suggest next steps, could their own diagnostic skills begin to fade? It's similar to how pilots' manual flying skills can atrophy from over-reliance on autopilot. After all, it opens up a legal black box. If the AI makes a mistake, mishears a critical detail, or omits a symptom, who is liable for the harm? The doctor who signed off on it, the hospital that bought the system, or the tech company that built the AI? We previously spotlighted this liability vacuum when general purpose AIs aren't regulated, like medical devices. Documentation assistants and clinical co-pilots can sit uncomfortably in that same grey zone. These are the profound questions we must answer as we race to bring AI into the exam room. We've been talking about how AI is reshaping entire industries, but the influence of some tech leaders now extends far beyond their own companies, right into the realm of geopolitics. A seemingly impossible proposal just became a talking point. A Kremlin envoy pitched a project to connect Russia and the United States with a 70-mile undersea tunnel, and they want Elon Musk to build it. Now, this isn't a new idea. The dream of a Russia-Alaska link actually dates all the way back to 1905, when Tsar Nicholas II first proposed it to connect the Trans-Siberian Railway to North America. But what was once a vision for global commerce has evolved. Today, the strategic rationale is much more about 21st century geopolitical posturing than it is about trade. The proposal, dubbed the Putin-Trump tunnel, got a direct response from President Donald Trump, who called the idea interesting and said he'd have to think about it. This all comes as plans are being made for Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin to meet and discuss the Ukraine war. The proposed numbers are, let's just say, ambitious. A tunnel like this would traditionally cost a staggering $65 billion. But the Russian proposal claims that with Musk's boring company, that price could plummet to just $8 billion with a completion time of only 8 years. When we place this proposal alongside the Channel Tunnel connecting the UK and France, the contradiction becomes clear. The Channel Tunnel is less than half the length at just 31 miles, and it costs the equivalent of $21 billion in today's money to build. That's about $667 million per mile. The boring company claims it can get costs down to $10 million per mile by using smaller tunnels and a new continuous excavation machine. But the catch is that technology is completely unproven for a project of this scale, especially in the brutal Arctic environment. The Kremlin envoy called it a link symbolizing unity and posted on X, "Let's build a future together." Beyond any symbol of unity, a project like this offers massive strategic advantages for Russia. A direct land link to North America could allow for the rapid deployment of military forces and equipment between continents. Economically, it would create a pipeline for Russia's vast natural resources in Siberia, like oil, gas, and minerals, to reach North American markets. This isn't just about a tunnel, it's about power projection. It's a way for Russia to test American allegiances and potentially create rifts between the US and its allies. The reaction was immediate and sharp. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy went on the record saying he was not happy with the idea. What really brought this to a head were the details that emerged about the project's feasibility and Musk's own background. The proposed tunnel would be in a region with below freezing temperatures and frequent earthquakes conditions. The boring company has zero track record in fact, the company was recently cited for an extraordinary number of violations in Nevada, including digging without approval. Actually, when you look at the map, the plan seems even more questionable. This tunnel would connect two of the most sparsely populated places on Earth, Chukotka in Russia and Alaska in the US. Neither side has the massive rail infrastructure needed to even reach the tunnel, let alone transport goods through it. Experts estimate that building out those networks could inflate the total project cost from $65 billion to over $1.3 trillion. It's a classic bridge to nowhere dilemma with catastrophic environmental risks to the fragile Arctic ecosystem. This isn't the first time Musk's name has been linked with the Kremlin either. Reports reveal Musk held secret talks with Putin in 2022. In one of those conversations, Putin reportedly pressured Musk to withhold his Starlink satellite service from Taiwan as a favour to Beijing. On top of that, Musk's company Tesla has purchased millions of euros worth of aluminum from a Russian supplier founded by a sanctioned oligarch. This whole situation highlights a major new issue in global politics, the rise of the private CEO as a non-state actor. When a single individual can negotiate critical communications infrastructure, like he did with Starlink in Ukraine, or continent connecting tunnels directly with foreign powers, it blurs the lines. It creates a kind of parallel foreign policy operating outside the normal channels of diplomacy and raising huge national security questions. So, as a massive geopolitical project is put on the table connecting two global powers, the company tapped to build it has a history of regulatory violations, and its leader has a documented past of secret conversations with the Kremlin.
That's it for today on Voyage Daily Tech. Follow, share, and stay tuned for daily updates coming your way tomorrow.